Very warm welcome to you, dear viewers. You're watching OBN Horn of Africa. This is weekly program Diplomacy, and I'm your host, Fantam Balete. Today, I have a very special guest with me here, Atif Sharif, Ambassador of Pakistan to Ethiopia, South Sudan, and the African Union. In this episode, we are going to discuss the diplomatic partnership and relations between Ethiopia and Pakistan. Till the end of our program, stay with us. Ambassador, thank you for your time and welcome to this program.
Thank you, Mr. Welcome, Mr. Fatuhan, for coming to Embassy of Pakistan and for giving me the opportunity to connect to your viewers and help me express my views about Pakistan-Ethiopia relationship.
As I mentioned before, today we are here to discuss the diplomatic relations and partnership between Ethiopia and Pakistan. Ethiopia and Pakistan have long-standing and historical diplomatic relations. How could you highlight the key milestone of these diplomatic achievements between these two countries?
For Pakistan, Ethiopia is a very important country. It is the largest country in Horn of Africa, and Pakistan is also paying much more attention towards its relations with Africa under the Engage Africa policy. So we view our bilateral relationship as very important. Our embassy has been working here for some time, but the important milestone was in 2022, your government decided to establish its embassy, resident embassy in Islamabad, which was a big step because it reflected the commitment of the government of Ethiopia to also develop its relations with Pakistan. After that, we were pursuing your government and the Ethiopian Airlines to start their flights in Pakistan. So last year, in May 2023, direct flights were started between Addis Ababa and Karachi. There are now 4 flights a week, which is also a major milestone because reduce the distance between our two countries. You know, it is now promoting business, promoting people-to-people exchanges, and you know promoting the contacts. So these are the two major milestones in the recent history.
Thank you very much. In light of these historical relations between Pakistan and Ethiopia, what are the current areas of cooperation and collaboration between both countries?
First of all, both countries are cooperating with each other at the United Nations, at multilateral fora, we are both members of non-aligned movement. We are also part of Group of 77 under the United Nations. So I think on climate change, on debt sustainability, on reform of the financial systems, reform of the global governance system, and support to the candidatures. You know, when your country wants to field some candidature at international organizations, we usually support each other. So this is one area. Then, of course, trade and investment is our main area. You know, both countries have a huge potential. They have, we are 220 million population, you are 120 million population, and we have a lot of complementarities in trade. We can fulfill each other's need. Ethiopia has a lot of raw materials, lot of resources, whereas Pakistan is now has a good industry. So trade and investment is an important area for us. Then in education, we are also trying to give us our advice to the Ethiopian government and also some scholarships to the Ethiopian students in professional studies like healthcare, doctor, engineering, and we want to expand it also. And the other thing that we are looking at is the defense cooperation. Both Pakistan and Ethiopia are important defense players in the region, and I think we can both learn from each other's experience in training, in peacekeeping operations. That can be a good area. And then another important area that we are trying to promote is parliamentary cooperation, because Ethiopia is a democracy and Pakistan is also a democracy, and we both need to learn, we both need to share our experience and connect with each other to be an engine of stability in the region, and to promote democracy in the region. So these are a few areas, but of course we are looking at other areas also that are our priorities right now.
How do you narrate the historical relations that started between Pakistan and Ethiopia? Can we talk about when it started, please?
The formal relationship, started with the visit of President of Pakistan to Ethiopia in 1973, Mr. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. And at that time, we also opened our embassy in Addis Ababa. We continued the embassy till 1979, but due to some financial difficulties, we couldn't sustain it. And then we restarted it in 2008. So we are now operating in Ethiopia since 2008. But besides this high-level visit, there have been regular visits and meetings on the sidelines of United Nations General Assembly, international conferences like recently Belt and Road Initiative. There's a Belt and Road Forum. So on the summit of Belt and Road Forum, the leaders have been meeting each other. So there has been a constant interaction at different levels.
Let me come to the cultural exchange. How has the exchange of cultural and educational initiatives between Ethiopia and Pakistan contributed to the bilateral relations?
As I explained before, that in education we are trying to offer more scholarships to the students of Ethiopia in the engineering universities, in the science and technology, in science, in medical field, in dentistry. So we are hoping to sign an MOU so that this program and this cooperation becomes sustainable. So this will be very important area because Ethiopia is a fast-growing country, and education is the key sector for any country's growth. So I think both countries can have a good experience and good cooperation in this area. As far as culture is concerned, we are trying to introduce Pakistani cuisine in Ethiopia, Pakistani costumes in Ethiopia, and Pakistani music in Ethiopia. We are talking with the Ministry of Culture and Tourism and Sports to have more regular programs on these issues. Because Pakistani food and culture is quite rich. Because it's a mixture of Central Asia, Iran, India, the former the Mughal India, and also Turkey and other places. So and likewise Ethiopian culture. I like, for example, your Bunna ceremony a lot, and there's simplicity and good tradition. So we are working with your embassy in Islamabad to have these kind of interactions. And one best way to promote it is to have more tourism. Ethiopia is full of tourist attractions like ecotourism, and there's a lot of greenery, good lakes over here. So we want to bring more Pakistanis to Ethiopia. And likewise, Pakistan has a lot of cultural heritage, historical monuments. So we want to invite Ethiopian friends to Pakistan also. So yeah, this is so basically tourism is a good way to promote our cultural exchange, and also we are looking to have proper programs to promote to our culture.
How would you describe the climate change on Pakistan and Ethiopia, and what measures are taken by the governments of both countries to address this issue?
Climate change is a big concern for many countries, and especially developing countries. Pakistan is contributing only 1%, less than 1% to global greenhouse gases, but it is considered the 8th most vulnerable country to the climate change. So the problem is that the emissions are being done by the developed countries, but the effect is mostly on the developing countries like Pakistan and Ethiopia. And I know that Ethiopia itself is also one of the most vulnerable country to climate change. So, because of this impact of climate change, there are regular extreme weather events in Pakistan: floods, droughts, glacial lake outbursts, heat waves. In 2010, we had a big flood which caused a damage of $10 billion, and it affected 20 million people, and 2,000 people died. So in 2022, we had another mega flood which was 3 times bigger, which caused a damage and loss of $30 billion, and 30 million people were affected. 7.5 million people were displaced from their homes. In 2015, we had a heat wave in Karachi, our coastal city, in which 1,200 people died. So, in order to tackle these things, the government has adopted a comprehensive climate policy. There are different elements of that policy. The first element is now whatever infrastructure we are building it climate resistant infrastructure. Secondly, we are making big efforts to climate proof and adapt the existing infrastructure. For example, National Highway Authority of Pakistan is making a study of the highways and checking how much vulnerable they are to climate events, and trying to improve their climate vulnerability to make them resilient to, let's say, floods or any other things. Similarly, we are climate proofing the irrigation system, because the canals, the barrage, the dams, so we are making them more resilient towards climate. And the other thing that we are doing is we are improving our disaster risk reduction system. For example, if a disaster strikes you, then you should have the ability to do the rescue, to the early response, emergency response. We are improving our early warning system. We have set up state-of-the-art weather monitoring station with the help of Chinese government. We have also have a disaster fund which is now available to help these things. And then another thing which Ethiopia is also doing, that we have community initiatives. In this community initiative, we are planting 10 billion. We have a target of 10 billion tree plantation. We have only met 25% or 30% of the target, but I'm very happy to note that in 2019, the government of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed started this 20 billion seedlings plantation target, which has been exceeded. In fact, you have already planted 25 billion seedlings, which is under the Green Legacy Initiative. So in Pakistan, we are also following this model and this pattern, because we need to increase our forest, the tree coverage, the forest coverage. Another thing under this thing is that we are cleaning the cities, improving the cities, making them more clean. Another thing that we are doing is we are giving loans to and financial resources to the people so they can build climate resilient houses, climate resilient schools and hospitals. And one other thing is that we are accessing the global climate finance, like this Green Climate Fund, GCF, to build new projects like urban transportation project based on green technologies, LNG, CNG based buses, monorails based on renewable energy. So we are using this Green Climate Fund to have these kind of projects. And then we are also trying to, our target is to convert our power generation to 60% renewable energy, wind, thermal, and wind, hydel, and solar by 2030. We also have 20% power generation by nuclear energy. So nuclear doesn't impact the climate. It is not polluting. Then we are also trying to promote green electric vehicles. We have an electric vehicle policy which will also take care of these things. So these are some of the measures that we are taking to curb the climate change and the impact of climate change. And as you know, that Ethiopia has already done quite good, Your country is prone to droughts, prone to locust attacks, and it's a rain-fed agriculture. So you have this Green Legacy Initiative is.
Good. Pakistan has been adopting Ethiopia's Green Legacy model to tackle these environmental challenges. Could you elaborate on the aspect of this Green Legacy model, please, and how is it implemented, or how is it being implemented in Pakistan?
Well, I think Ethiopia has shown a good leadership and good example by adopting this Green Legacy initiative, and by making it successful also, because it was an ambitious target to plant 20 billion seedlings, but you have exceeded that target, and in 4 years' time, in fact, 25 billion seeds had been planted. So it's a very it's a good model for all other countries, for the world to follow, and you have so much benefits from this thing. So Pakistan also, I think around the same time in 2019, we also picked up on this idea to have 10 billion tree plantation, because Pakistan is even much more. We are facing a lot of deforestation. Our deforestation is greater than Ethiopia. Our issue is bigger than yours. Because our population is much bigger, and because of urbanization and agriculture and farmland, a lot of forests have been cut. So this was a good idea from that we borrowed from your government, and it was done first in one state, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, but then after its success in that state, we have implemented it on a national level. So it's going well. I think we have planted more than 2.5 billion trees already, but I know it's not as fast as you have done it in Ethiopia. And I think in this area we need to collaborate and exchange our experience and notes, so that we can make it more successful everywhere.
The Belt and Road Initiative is an important aspect of China's foreign policy, and Ethiopia and Pakistan are participants in this initiative. What potential benefits and challenges do you see for both countries in terms of their involvement in this Belt and Road Initiative?
Well, I think we both have Pakistan as well as Ethiopia, in my view, have immensely benefited from Chinese investment in the Belt and Road Initiative. As you know, that globally the fundings have become much lesser under the World Bank, and other development funding has reduced over the years. It's not easy to raise capital, and our countries are capital deficient countries. We do not have enough domestic savings to build our own infrastructure. So in terms of Pakistan, for example, before the Belt and Road Initiative, we were having a lot of energy deficiency. There was not enough electric power to run our industry and our homes, and there were a lot of infrastructure needs that were unmet. So under the Belt and Road Initiative, more than 10,000 megawatt electricity has been produced or is in the process. Chinese investment has helped us build renewable energy, thermal energy, hydro energy, even nuclear energy. So now we are in a position, we are no longer facing any load shedding or power outages. We have sufficient energy available. Then Chinese investment also helped us upgrade our motorways and highways. Now all of Pakistan is connected through highways and motorways. Now this helps in many ways, because the farmers in far off places, they can easily get the fertilizer, the seeds, the inputs, and they can sell their commodities, their agricultural produce anywhere else. So I think this has been a big advantage. Then Chinese, under this BRI, we are also making export processing zones or industrial parks like you have done. So this is also important area. Under the BRI, we also, Chinese investment also built optic fibers, 840 kilometers optic fiber from Khunjrab to Rawalpindi, near our capital. Similarly, with Chinese investment, we have upgraded the Gwadar port. It is at the mouth of Hormuz Strait, near Gulf of Hormuz, Gulf of Persian Gulf. It's near Persian Gulf. So the idea is that the Middle Eastern oil will be transported there, and from there through road and trains, it will be transported to China. Now the opportunity, these are the big opportunities that we have availed, but the real thing is that now we have this so much investment, but we have to return it. We have to pay back the amount of, because it's coming in foreign currency, it's a debt, so we have to repay it. Now the smart thing for us to do is to get the investment that will help us improve our industrial capacity, that will help us improve our agricultural production, that will help us improve our productivity. Then we will be able to increase our exports, increase our GDP, and repay the loan very easily. So this is where I see that we need to focus on this thing also.
All right. Ethiopia has recently undergone economic and political reforms. How do you see the impact and opportunities of these reforms on bilateral relations of both Pakistan and Ethiopia?
We are encouraged by the ongoing reforms by the government of Ethiopia. For example, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has tried to open up the Ethiopian economy. Recently, they passed some legislation, so now foreign investment is being encouraged in the banking sector. Foreign investment is being encouraged in the certain sectors which were closed before. For example, in the retail sector, in the wholesale sector, even the foreign investors can export commodities like coffee from Ethiopia. I think this will be this will pave the way for more competition in Ethiopia, because I'll give you an example. Like in Pakistan, we have McDonald's there, we have KFC there, the food chains, and what is the benefit in the short term? Naturally, people come, foreigners come, they earn money, they send back the dollars, so you have an outflow. But gradually your own people, they become smart, they learn those techniques, those management techniques, and then they try to improve those things. For example, Pepsi and Coca-Cola are, Pepsi started production of Lay's chips in Pakistan. So what happened, that they were selling to Pakistan in a certain way. It's not contributing to export industry because you're not exporting the Lays, but then gradually they have built the backward linkages. Now Lays is produce. They have trained Pakistani potato growers, and all the potato is being produced from Pakistan. And now the quality of potato has improved a lot. Now Pakistani potato is one of the best potatoes in the world now because of this thing, and a lot of this Lay's chips is being exported also. So what I'm trying to say is that when you have competition, when you have foreign companies coming into your country, they bring knowledge, they bring skills, they bring new techniques. And our own food companies are becoming they're already multinationals. So this is because of competition in the retail sector. For example, also there are foreign companies in Pakistan, and when foreign companies will come in Ethiopia, maybe Pakistani companies also, this will bring the prices down and bring a lot of rewards for Ethiopian consumers.
All right, thank you. Pakistan and Ethiopia are both members of various regional and international organizations. How do you see these memberships contribute to strengthening cooperation and coordination between the two countries?
Pakistan and Ethiopia are both part of the global south and the developing countries, so they are members of many many international organizations and regional organizations. For example, United Nations is there. Then we are part of a group of 77. Non-aligned movement is a very important organization of Global South. We are also members of that organization. And since our issues are similar on climate change, on development and finance, on reform of global governance, on migration, for example, International Organization of Migration. Migration has been an issue for both of our countries, where we want to promote legalized migration and discourage our youth from undertaking risky migration. So on all these issues, our presence in international organizations and regional organizations have resulted in closer collaboration on these issues. We often support each other on these positions, and we also support each other's candidature. Whenever there's an Ethiopian candidature in an international organization, we receive a request for cooperation, and it's generally extended as well. And likewise, we also benefit from your support in various issues.
What should Ethiopia and Pakistan do to further deepen their bilateral relations, particularly in the areas of climate change, trade, and cultural exchange?
I think first of all, both countries need to develop institutional mechanisms of cooperation. We are trying to promote, both sides are eager to establish bilateral political consultations, as well as have memorandums of understanding in these areas, which will allow for a sustained and a programmed, way of cooperation. Pakistan has a very good disaster risk reduction authority, and we will be we are eager to connect it with the Ethiopian disaster risk reduction mechanism. So I think the best way is to promote it in an organized manner.
The Ethiopian embassy in Pakistan last week announced that the Pakistani business people have confirmed their participation in the second pre-investment trip. Pakistani business delegation is going to pay to Ethiopia from 26 to 31 May 2024. What do you expect from this trip, and how will your embassy contribute for the success of this business engagement?
This is the second trip of this nature to Ethiopia from Pakistani businessmen and investors. The first trip was done in 2023 when 60-70 people came here, and they had a survey of the economic opportunities, investment opportunities in Ethiopia, and they went back and started work on this thing. So I think Ethiopia is this visit will bring Ethiopia on the radar of our Pakistani businessmen, and they will re-examine the investment opportunities here, and they will try to connect and have joint ventures with Ethiopian businessmen in different fields. For example, Ethiopia has a good economic potential and investment opportunities in chemicals, in fertilizer, in pharmaceuticals, in textile, in food processing, in agriculture. So I'm sure that Pakistani companies would find some good partners to set up their business in Ethiopia. But also our companies want to export to Ethiopia, in the beginning, and then move on towards investment.
If you have something to add, please do.
I just want to emphasize that Pakistan and Ethiopia are two great countries, very important players in their region, and this is our relationship is at as a takeoff stage, but there's a lot of room for cooperation, and especially I want to emphasize cooperation in education, in healthcare sectors, in services sector, where we can really help each other in growing.
Ambassador, thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming.
Dear viewers, this brings us to the end. Thank you for watching, and stay connected with other programs of OBN Horn of Africa.